progress has forgotten that "don't tell your parents" has been code for a run because something creepy is about to happen for, I don't know, the last zillion years. So join us now to try and make some sense of this lunacy is the president of the American Principals Project, Terry Schilling. Thanks for being here tonight, Terry.
Thanks for having me, Kara.
Great. Some of these teachers reportedly sunk their claws into this confused young girl, and they made her think she was bisexual and then that she was really a boy trapped in a girl's body. I mean, sadly, these headlines are only getting more and more common. I feel like we talk about them almost every day at this point. So what does that say about how fast the left is moving in schools?
Well, Kara, this has been happening across the country for so long, and it's not just in California. We have to remember that these are 11-year-old kids, right? Most of these kids haven't even hit puberty yet. They're not sexual. When I was 11 years old, I wasn't thinking about girls. I was thinking about everything but girls. They're targeting our kids and trying to destroy them sexually because it gives them more control over them. These kids it's happening everywhere. This is not an isolated incident. This is happening even in states like Texas. It's not just big blue states like California. These teachers and these counselors, they want our kids, they want their minds, they want their sexuality, and they're grooming them. They're grooming them for a progressive world that they're trying to create, and it's absolutely terrible. The thing that's most upsetting and enraging, frankly, is that they told the child not to tell the mother. That is insane on so many fronts, and these teachers really should be prosecuted and probably even sent to jail.
They really shouldn't, and I know for some that may sound hyperbolic, but as I've said a million times, I mean, if your kid was out there playing in a park and some creepy guy in a trench coat comes up and he starts, talking about all sorts of this nonsense about who do you want to sleep with and talking about such horrific and disgusting and vile acts with children, I mean, you'd call the police in 2 seconds. You wouldn't even feel uncomfortable if it was the librarian or your teacher's coach, but somehow when it's the math teacher, the science teacher, the English teacher, next thing you know, it seems like it's just accepted by too many people. And now hopefully we are trying to turn the tide on that one. But the girl in this legal case up in California, her mother only found out about all of this with COVID shutdowns, and a lot of these schools turned to virtual learning. And while that caused a whole lot of abuse for a lot of kids, really the COVID-19, the way our government handled the situation and exploited a lot of children. But thankfully on the flip side, there was at least some silver lining that more parents got more involved with what their kids were doing, since it was now right under their noses in the house. And so that's what happened in this case when the mom started thinking, hey, my daughter's not acting right. She finds out what's been going on. And then over the weeks of online learning, this girl who was being told at school that she was a boy and being socially transitioned into a boy by these adults in her life, once she's at home and away from that influence, she starts becoming back to her normal girly self. So a lot of this LGBTQ identity, it's not that we have an uptick necessarily in dysphoria and mental health among young people. I think so much of it truly just is influence.
It's totally influence and it's power, and these people are sick. And they're abusing the trust that we put into the school system and to these teachers themselves. I tell parents all the time, and we at American Principals Project, that's basically all we do is work with parents and organize them in politics. I tell them, I said, you have to talk to your kids about sex, because there is a whole group of people at your kids' school who want to talk to your kids about sex. And I just really want to reiterate this. I'm a father. I have 5 kids with number 6 on the way, and it's awkward to talk to your own children about sex. The idea that I would talk to a stranger's kid or even a friend's child about sexuality or their own sexuality is incredibly odd. It's creepy. It's weird. And the type of people that want to talk to your kids about sex, they're the type of people that probably shouldn't be allowed within 500 feet of a school. That's how disgusting and creepy this type of thing is.
Congrats on baby 6. I didn't know that there was a 6th one on the way, so congrats on that. I love kids myself, and growing up I always said I want 6 kids myself, so congrats on that front. And looking at this mother, she was talking about how her daughter, also these teachers, talking about the groomingness, the grooming and how creepy this is. The mother in another interview that she gave, she was talking about how her daughter, also these teachers were telling her how to bind her breasts, and the mother specifically called that predatory behavior. Would you call that predatory?
Absolutely, it's predatory. It's not just that, though. Here, this is what they're doing in daylight, right? They're hiding it from the parents, but it's going to get worse if we don't stop it. And what do I mean by worse? What I mean by worse is they're going to start to criminalize parents for opposing sexual transition of their minors. And that's where it's going to go. So you're going to actually lose custody. You're going to suffer criminal complaints and criminal harassment by these schools and by these teachers. You have to understand, they don't think these children belong to you. They think your children belong to them, and they want to control them. They want to influence them, and they don't want you to know about it. This is already happening. This has been happening in Canada. It's now happening in the United States, where parents are losing custody for refusing to sexually transition their minors. And they're saying this is how clown world this is. These people, these radical ideologues on the gender ideology stuff, they're arguing that it's child abuse that the parents oppose transitioning their minor children. When in reality, most of us all know that it's child abuse to transition minors. It's a very simple concept. Children can't consent to sex, so they can't consent to sex changes. It's that simple.
It really is that simple, and you bring up a great point with Canada and how they now criminalize, up to 5 years in prison for what they now consider conversion therapy. And what they mean by conversion therapy is if you have a child who, for whatever reason, whether it be teacher's influence or, your kid just, finding stuff online, says, Mom, Dad, I was born in the wrong body. I'm really this other gender over here. And if you don't confirm them in that other said gender, and you confirm them in their biological gender, their biological sex, that somehow now is conversion therapy, and you get thrown away for 5 years. We're now seeing that, as you were saying, it's creeping into America. I've talked to a dad in Michigan where that's already, the policy in his state, and that's been the back and forth with him and his ex-wife over their shared child. So we are seeing that creeping up here, and it's terrifying. Abigail Schreier, she's done a lot of good work, journalist into the transgender craze and how it's taking over and damaging so many of our young people today. And she found that actually these two teachers who find themselves in this lawsuit, that just a couple months back they were at a big shindig for California's largest teachers union get-together, and they were talking about how they take over the school's announcement services so that they can pump out this LGBTQ indoctrination through the airwaves. And they specifically say that the teachers pat them on the back and go, wow, you're so nice volunteering. And they say, no, the real reason why they're doing it is really for propaganda reasons. And the other teacher was then saying that for these parents who get upset when they learn what's being taught to their kids and they show up to protest against it, these teachers were snickering at this conference saying, little do they know, it's too late. We already got to your kids. So this is terrifying stuff. And I know you touched on it earlier, but I'd like to ask to expand on this more. But what is the American Principles Project doing to help combat some of this?
Well, Kara, I think one of the big things that people don't connect the dots on is just the money here, right? A lot of people just think that this is just transgender Americans fighting for their rights or radical gender ideologues fighting to indoctrinate children. It's actually much simpler than that. Big Pharma is making a ton of money off of this transgender movement. The AbbVie, they made $726 million in 2019 off of a puberty-blocking drug known as Lupron. And that's just 2019. We don't even know how much they're making now after the explosion. So we're going to be producing a report in the coming months that ties Big Pharma to the transgender movement and really exposes just how much the transgender movement is being built up and pushed by Big Pharma. They are exploiting these young children. They are exploiting these confused adults, and we need to put an end to it because it's absolutely cruel. I get accused of transphobia or whatever they want to accuse me of, but the reality is this. I'm giving up a lot of opportunities to try and protect and save these people with gender dysphoria, especially children. And the transgender movement is not. They're making lots of money and they're laughing all the way to the bank. So we have to do what's best. These people need our love and compassion, but they need the right care. And we need to make them feel more comfortable in their bodies. We need them to accept their bodies as they are, not get addicted to a lifetime of gender mutilation and hormone treatments and all of that crazy stuff.
Perfectly well said, Terry. Keep up the great work, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.